When we talk about sustainability, we often think of climate action, green energy, or corporate responsibility. But at its core, sustainability is about how we live, how we grow, and how we inspire the potential within each other. And it all starts with education. Today, joining us is Principal Pai Pei-hsuan of Junyi School of Innovation in Taitung, a high school that turns rural constraints into educational possibilities. Welcome to Sustainable Footprints, SDGs in Taiwan. Welcome, Principal Pei-hsuan, to our new episode. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good.
I know education is essential to everything. So my first question for you is, from your point of view, what's the relation between sustainability and education? Because I have seen a news that Kending Elementary School, they incorporate the ocean education into the every grade courses, including the activity from water game to free diving. So is there any similar events or courses at Junyi?
Yes. Actually, for our secondary school from grade 7 to grade 12, all our kids, they have a course called outdoor education. And with this outdoor education means students will have the opportunity to contact like water activities and cycling or even hiking and mountain climbing. So why we do that is because we live in Taitung. Then we believe Taitung just like with a very beautiful nature classroom for our students.
The most beautiful places in Taiwan.
Really, yes, yeah, I think so. And we believe that our students have to learn and build a connection with this beautiful environment. So when we bring this to our students, at the same time, definitely, I think there's also connect with sustainable education. Yeah.
So what's your definition of a sustainable education?
I feel lots of people talking about to protect our environment. But for me, I feel it's not just about the environmental protection. I feel that something actually integrates with ecological balance, social equity, and also in economic development. The reason why I say so is because I think as a global citizen, we need to understand the impact of our choices. So any choices we make is not just going to change our life, and also it's going to shape for our future generations. Then, so from the educational points, we hope our students, by doing all these kind of activities, they will learn how to take care of this environment. And also at the same time, they have their responsibility knowing this needs to pass to next generations.
Back to what I asked earlier, because I'm so curious.
Yes.
I have seen that one of educating students must dive into the ocean to claim their diploma. Will you do the same here?
Yes. It's not 100% the same, but we do have the challenge for our grade 11 students. That means when they come to our school in grade 10, they need to contact those three activities I just said in different fields. But when they go to the second semester of grade 10, they need to start to think what is the one they are interested in most. And also at the same time, they need to make their own choice, like from grade 11, what they need to pick. They need to select one area that they want to do. So actually 2 months ago, our grade 11 students, water group students, they just finished their big challenge. And that challenge is they row outrigger canoe from Taitung, Jinzhuan, and all the way to Green Island.
Wow, that's not very easy.
It's
Even
not.
for an adult, I don't think that's
No.
that's not easy for coach or for teachers here.
So our students actually be trained every week, 3 days. They need to wake up at 6 o'clock and even earlier and get prepared and go to Taitung, a very beautiful place we call Flowing Lake, 活水湖. And they do 2 hours training for 3 mornings in a week.
Wow.
Wow.
and basically train this for 3 months, and they are able to do the big challenge I just said and to complete it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
then
can I
that's
jump
the
in?
name.
Is that same to, I mean, boys and girls, any different from the, gender treatment? The treatment?
No, the treatment is just like you are a team. So this
okay.
team with 18 students altogether, doesn't matter with your sex, doesn't matter with the power or your weight or your height, because before you train it, and you just need to know that there is a teamwork. It's when you 6 people sit on that boat, you need to know we have just one direction. Before they started this challenge, we already explained this, and even kind of like parents, teachers, with our security guards, we all urged them together. We stood on the beach and trying to say bye to them. But before that, we also have a different ceremony to kind of send the guard and send the ocean and saying right now we are doing this, but we just have our way and to hope they can help our kids finish this and also have the safety accompanying them all the way from Taitung, Jinzhen to Lüdao, to Green Island. Yeah.
Wow. So I think the courses or the events or activities you design here is pretty much sustainable education here.
Yes, I believe so.
So
yes.
what's your logic behind your sustainable education?
One of our core values we call local connection. And this local connection is like we hope not just for the culture itself, and also include this environment. How do we bring our respect to this environment, and how do we actually teach our students this is one of the heritage they need to carry it. Then if they enjoy the benefits here, not just activity itself, and also for what you actually bring to yourself in the mind, then we also want this to be able to continue.
Very impressive. Moving forward to my second question, when I just walk in this place, I was really impressed by the beautiful campus, the special architecture, even the interior design. But I also noticed there's a play focused on holistic education. So I'm just wondering, can you give me some idea what's the difference between the holistic education from the traditional education?
We believe this holistic education actually goes beyond academic achievements. Because of that, so we think whatever things we bring to our students actually needs to focus in different fields. And these different fields means academics is just part of it. So like we won't only focus on tests. We try to let our students know a lot of things you need to do the independent learning. And all your teachers here just try to help you and support you. So that means lots of time our students need to do the teamwork. Or when they do the independent learning, they need to know if they have the problems or questions, they need to be able to communicate to their classmates or to their teachers. And also at the same time, we let them know all the knowledge that you learn, not just from your textbooks. Textbooks also one of the tools you have. So they also need to have the critical thinking. Then plus, we encourage our students to be creative. So the 4 C's that I just said for those words is somehow we keep telling our students that is when the time you're in Junyi, when you learn this, that's what we believe as a holistic education. So in brief, this holistic education for us is not just teacher-centered, it's actually student-centered. In our school, we are like a boarding school. So boarding school, the dormitory, dormitory life, this is also part of our education. So our students learn with the outdoor education, and they also have the curriculum we call creative curriculum. It's actually running for 3 different areas, and later I can give more details. And for their dormitory life, always is something we believe that we can bring it to our students, have the in-depth learning. And this in-depth learning, let them see, you can see these 4C things I just said, and also they need to know how to be a good person, because we try to use this to cultivate the students' character. And how to be a good person include that in different occasions, in different events, you know how to communicate with people. And also we encourage our students to be creative. That's because when they have the chance to use and to practice what they learn, like we also have the different festivals. With these festivals, like we call gratitude dinner, or Thanksgiving dinner, or for like a graduation dinner. Our students need to learn how to make their own menus, and they set for the tables, they do the decoration together with teachers.
Can I jump in? Because
Sure.
you took a lot of different things, different aspects to your education.
Yes.
I'm thinking not just the student, I'm thinking about how, the teachers here. How you select your teacher, how you train your teachers here. It seems not easy. It's not the normal teacher.
You are right. I would say first, we always say there's a destiny. Bring all our colleagues to our school. Because first you need to believe this kind of education is something different. You believe this holistic education actually can bring more to the kids, to our students.
Right.
Then so with this belief in your mind, and you are able to try or to run the similar thoughts or concepts with us. So like these 46 credits for our creative study is quite a big percentage. I mean the component. So there's composed of the three parts of our secondary school education. One is for outdoor education I mentioned before, and one is this creative study, and also with the dormitory connect with our English environment. Because dormitory is not just for the local dormitory teachers to take care of them. We want them to be able to run with bilingual, I would say, surroundings. And we actually ask our foreign teachers to run those things for us. So we have a pretty strong international department. This international department include all our English teachers. They help our students when they go back to the dormitory. It's not just a place for you to sleep, because we want them to do something, make them feel it's just like I'm at home. I go home after my work, and send us they finish their learning at daily school and go back to the dormitory, they can relax. So we even convert, we call 1/3 area becomes like a student's lounge. Lots of people say you learn English, you ask them to memorize grammar, you ask students to memorize those vocabulary.
Right.
But for us, we feel if right now you make it so natural learning to see and to contact, to use it every day, first of all, they won't feel afraid of using it. And two is they constantly see their foreign teachers there, even with discussing some activities together with our senior leaders, or just sit there to wait our students to start a conversation, to chat. And all this just make our students feel, wow, so learning English is not hard at all.
It just occurs to me, you call the holistic education that engage not just students, teachers, probably alumni and parents, right?
Yes. Yeah. Our outdoor education, we got the volunteers. There's from parents, we call parents volunteers. They will, every time when we have those big challenge, maybe 2 days or 3 days, they just volunteer to accompany our students, accompany our teachers. And one of our parents is even, we call very cute. It's because he has a regular kind of truck, but because he wants to lead our cycling team when they're cycling along the highway, then wanted to be sure their safety, and then that everybody can see, okay, right now it's a Junyi kid, maybe have 18 students all along there to ride. So he transformed his truck becomes like a Junyi cycling with the neon lights
Wow.
on that, and then make it quite big and even can carry our students' bicycle in there. So it's really engaged with the education. They also believe, just like before you asked me, our teachers, that you need to believe something we do is positive, is good, and can actually bring different, we say, lifelong learning to our young generation.
Well, thank you for sharing this. They're very impressive to me. Moving for my third question, I wonder how to bring the sustainable practices from classroom to life. As far as I know, in Finland, Helsinki Visual Arts School links artist expression to public issues. Is there any similar engagement here as Junyi?
Yes, we do. I think we have the quite similar experience here. In our high school, we have the class we call creative study, then divided into 3 different fields. So these 3 fields, one is contemporary arts and one is green architecture. The other one we call international hospitality. On that performing arts, that part, just contemporary arts, and actually we run that interdisciplinary course with our academic subjects teachers all together to bring these similar experience to our students. And they work together with our performing arts teacher because they want to take our students to Green Island, to that old jail, to let them experience and feel how terrified and painful when you actually in that environment. So they work together with their arts teacher. They bring the performance with their body movements, so they actually be creative to come up with the dance. But the dance is follow the materials like a poem. Chinese teacher helped them to find out and actually recorded the history during that time. So with the Chinese teacher, arts teacher, and social study teachers, they work all together and take our students to Green Island and to actually see there and show this performance to the local residents. And those local residents, because they are just like many generations that are from the heritage and they carry. So they look at this and think about maybe their grandparents, their parents, their time, and it's very vivid to them to attract and to let them know, to see our kids actually getting into in the environment, and also at the same time then the civics, the public issues, and also connect with different issues and using the different tools. At the same time, they can also have the interaction with the local residents. They even come up with more questions after they finish their performance. Then one of our students give the feedback is saying, by reading the lines, because they pick different roles, they read the poetry at different lines, and they also come up with their own stories, kind of mimic the thing. So some people play a role as a mother, and some people just like doing it as a father, or like a kid. So they can really feel and make them always remind each other, and even saying, we cannot allow these things happen because there's too much torture to the family or to themselves. So for us, I think there's not just a jail, it's not just a historic sites. At the same time, I really admire our teachers. They try to, because they all from it, they come up with these ideas and feel if we want to take them, live here and connect with the history.
My fourth question for you, with the global artificial intelligence, AI's so-called AI wave going strong, I wonder what our kids need to prepare and how our school can help them get ready for it. Because as far as I know, Singapore, Japan, the United States, they all start really early stage and use different ways like self-projects or any other ways to do it. So How do you see about that?
Actually, we believe this core competency for our students in the age of AI, they still need to have the few concepts like critical thinking, or we say creativity and plus with imagination, and also like empathy, collaboration. And the most important one we think is more like adaptive lifelong learning. Even though in this AI age, older generations, actually, I think our students are good at knowing how to use that. However, we want to let them know as a human being, they have something that's even more important than just use that. Those things are just like your tools. How do you actually use these tools wisely and use it well? Is you need to have the critical thinking. And definitely for creativity or imagination, that's also the same, is because we encourage our students. When you use AI to do all this, please don't just copy it. You have your brand, and right now you need to use it. You know these things is very convenient, but at the same time, you need to know how to really use it wisely. Then lifelong learning, definitely. That's the key, is you don't want to be controlled by AI. You want to be the one you actually lead it. So when you can lead it, and you need to think more, you need to think in depth or from the different perspectives.
So critical thinking is actually is the major element of using AI as a tool, right?
Yes, for us, definitely. And we keep telling our students we want them to be a person, like is a kind and a warm person. So when you use AI at the same time, please don't lose your kindness. Whatever as a human being that needs to have that kindness or generosity, or we say humbleness, all these things. Because there's something we think nothing can be replaceable by this.
Yeah. Will you allow your student use AI to do the assignment? Can you tell?
Yeah, we can tell. We can
really?
tell. Because actually, you know, the students need time to train to do a very nice writing or essay. And plus, we are like a small school. So this small school means all the teachers know students pretty well.
Yeah.
Then we know the way they talk, even the tone. And sometimes, you know, like they try to, because we already teach them saying like you cannot just look at with one web page. But if you only copy and paste, or even cut into the pieces, then probably comes from the 5 different people's opinions or thoughts. Then it's very easy for us to recognize, oh, no, that's not from you. Then they will get a big punishment. It's like people needs to finish one work and you need to do double.
So
and maybe
there's
2
a
or 3.
punishment,
Yes, there's a punishment, yes.
My last question for you is, when I just walk in, I have noticed the name of Junyi in English is School of Innovation. I'm curious, how do you see the innovative and practical education spreading beyond the Taitung, maybe some other neighborhood or international community? Can you share with me?
Yes, because we look at our school's name, innovative learning or innovative education, is we believe something that should be different from the traditional education. So with this, we also hope our students be able to have the international perspective. We are very lucky. Actually, we have the interactions with a school called Kamehameha School in Hawaii. This school actually is an indigenous school. Then we have the different exchanges with them. They even say to us they are interested in knowing like they only need to learn Hawaiian indigenous language, because right now in Hawaii also tries to save this culture and want to promote this culture and want to have their students to learn this. But they notice that our students actually come from different indigenous groups. So they even say to us saying like, oh, you have to learn so many different indigenous languages. In Hawaii, you only with a Hawaiian indigenous language. However, for us, like Amis groups, our Taiwan groups all needs to have the different kind of their local indigenous language. But they are also curious about if right now want you to use like counting numbers in Hawaiian way, how do you do it? And they also check with our students. They suddenly feel it's quite interesting. For some parts, quite similar for the counting Arabic numbers. And maybe for some with a very huge difference. However, with the counting numbers, they do notice like for some our indigenous groups, actually they can communicate and they can understand with each other.
Wow.
So that's quite interesting.
Yeah, that's very inspiring. Well, thank you for sharing the inspiring conversation with me. Thank you so much for your time today.
No problem. That's my honor.
Sustainability in education is not just about a perfect solution. It's actually about the process of guiding people to understand and live in harmony with the world. I'm your host, Pai Pei-hsuan. Thank you for tuning in today. I see you next time.